You have to begin with the vision. Okay. Now, for a lot of you listening, you're like, okay, screw you. Give me the financial strategy. I will. But let me give you an analogy similar with this. So if you're in a car and you've got this giant interstate in front of you, think about like when you're driving at 5 a.m. in the morning and there's nobody on the road and it's just a wide open interstate. You've got like a sunrise coming up and you're just mashing the gas and you can just go, right? That's a lot of us with our investing strategy. So that could be multifamily, Airbnb, flipping, wholesaling. It could be online business, entrepreneurship, service business, laundromats, any vehicle, right, that you're sitting in and you're going down this freaking highway. A lot of us will become very successful at driving the vehicle, but we have no idea where the hell we're going. And that applies to people that are leaving their job. It applies to people at the 5 million, the 10 million, sometimes the $50 million level. They still don't know where they're going. All they know is they're really damn good at investing and driving the car, but there is no end destination. So the fastest way to get to where you want to go is first establish, where do I want to go? Right. And what that serves as, this whole thing called shiny object syndrome that all of us complain about, we all succumb to. If you know where you're going, we can use that as a set of road, like a bumpers, like in a bowling alley. We can use those parameters to strategically say no to things. So what I did was I was sitting in my cubicle in a year and a half before I quit. I wrote out what I wanted my life to look like if I had all the money in the world. And in 3 years, this is what my life looks like. And Cameron Harrell talks about this in his book, Vivid Vision. I interviewed him on my show as well. It's a fantastic book. And what you do is you write out in present tense what you want your life to look like. Like you wake up in the morning. What does your day look like? What are you doing in the morning, in the afternoon? Where are you living? Who are you with? Like, how do you feel? How does your body feel? And so I wrote out, hey, I wake up in the morning and I walk out on the hard, hot cobblestones of my Greek freaking villa. I look out over my balcony in my infinity pool and I can see the Mykonos sunset in the back. And I just know like I had nothing to do in the morning but explore and have fun. And in the afternoon, I had my calls in my business. And I'm just having the blast. I'm doing what I want with who I want. I'm living in the Greek islands. I'm traveling around the world. All right. And I wrote out in detail, like to the point where I literally went on Google and I researched the place that I wanted to stay, like the suite. And I blew it up, printed it out, and I had it on a giant vision board that was framed in my office. You can go to CVS, Walgreens, whatever, and put it on there. Then I put it on my lock screen on my phone. I had it everywhere. It was all I could see. And I was like, I'm going to get there. And now you're like, okay, so how do I do it? Right. And so that's the scary part. And so most people will aim very small because they don't yet know how to accomplish the goal. But the point of accomplishing a goal isn't actually accomplishing the goal. It's becoming the type of person that's capable of accomplishing the goal, right? So start with your vision. It may not be Greece. It may not be Mykonos. It could be you and your wife and your kids. Maybe you always wanted to live on the lake and you wanted to have a boat. And that's where you want to be. You want to live over in this one specific location, one specific area. Maybe you grew up there. That's where you want to live all day. That's what you want to be doing with your own business. So you write it all out in detail. And then what you're going to do after that point is you're going to start working on your financial foundation. So the foundation is not going to get us all the way to the end of the journey. But what it's going to do is it's going to build the baseline and it's going to build the foundation that we can build on top of. So if this is a 4-step process, this is step 1 and 2. Step 1 is the vision. Step 2 is creating your financial foundation. This is where we do the unsexy work that's going to yield the sexiness later on. All right. So this is going to be, you're going to start investing in rental properties, even that if that's buying a property per year, which is what I started doing initially. It's going to be multifamily, mobile home parks, buying a couple of Airbnbs, buying a laundromat, a cash flowing business, something like that, a car wash, stuff that Eric and everyone talks about on podcasts 24/7. All we want to do is get enough money to replace our fixed expenses. That's it. Not our variable, our fixed, because a lot of us are probably in our heads, we're thinking $10,000 a month is what we need, right? 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. For me, it was 20,000 is what I wanted. That was fixed and variables. But my fixed expenses were $4,000 a month. When I looked at, in order for me to have my housing paid for and for me to actually survive, 4,000 is what I need. That makes things much more manageable. So I did the house hack co-living strategy myself. There are so many strategies that you guys can do, and we can go into multiple of them. We have hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcasts and YouTube videos on every single strategy, guys. It's documented. That's what makes it simple, right? It's not easy, but it's simple because other people have done it.
Yeah, you just follow the roadmap. Yep.
You follow the roadmap that has been laid before you by millions of people by this point. There's a bunch of financially free folk out there. So now we have our financial foundation, we have our vision. Okay. Now it's when things start to get sexy. Now is when we're going to start pouring all of our excess capital, because now we have passive income coming in. Now we pour all of our excess capital and all the money that we're saving into courses, coaching, and mastermind. So this is where you're going to actively invest in your environment for the first time. And you're going to be around people that are pursuing the same goals as you or are where you want to be. And so this is so huge and so monumental that I can't even overstate it. Like, this is the stage where things start happening and your mindset starts shifting and you start really thinking about what's possible, because you can see it. Like, it's not real until you see the guy making $200,000 a month in passive income. And like, you can have dinner with them and you're like, whoa. Okay, you're not that much smarter than me. I can figure this out too. Right.
It's actually quite true. I mean, like, it's amazing. And if you ask that person, they'd say the same thing. They'd be like, nothing special about me. I followed the roadmap of the person in front of me, or maybe had a few tricks in there or got lucky here and there. But like, they're not necessarily smarter than you. Right?
But that's the kicker. I love that tip. They followed the roadmap of the person before them, because every single one of them paired up with a mentor, or they paired up with a coach. So there's two ways that you can get a mentor. You either pay to play or you seek to serve. All right. So you're either going to pay for a mentor with your time, effort, and energy on a specific problem that they have, or you're going to have to pay for your money. So in the beginning, it depends on which is less valuable to you. So in the beginning, it was time for me. So I was investing all my time, all my resources that I could into getting into these rooms. So for me, that was GoBundance. That was a bunch of different groups that were pursuing financial freedom. And then it gradually, as your time becomes more valuable, then you have to start paying. So right now I've got a $100,000 business coach that I'm paying for my new business. So things change as time goes on. And then stage 4 of this whole journey is, now you have your foundation, you have your vision, you have your community, and you have your mastermind, which is an additional level of security. Now you're going to start creating your own business, either by yourself or with partners that are in that community. And then that's what's going to replace your variable. And that is the holy grail. This is what I call passionate income. And I think that's the answer that everyone's looking for, that they're not finding in passive income. Because to punctuate all of this and to get off my soapbox for a second, you have Tim Ferriss with his 4-hour work week 20 years ago, right? He releases that like 2004. And the world blows up about the idea of passive income, money coming in where you're not having to have your time established, like tied to it. And so now 20 years later, everyone is becoming financially free. You have a lot of people that now have more passive income than their expenses, but they just keep going, because the secret that nobody wants to tell you is, once you're capable of retiring early, you're not able to retire early. So when you go in and laying on the beach, you're 2 weeks deep, you're hungover and you're sunburnt, and you're like, now what? Because you have no purpose. You have no identity. I did it. Like, I ended this sales career and I did the thing. I was in Mykonos. I was there for a month and I was sitting on the beach. I was like, oh man, this was super fun. What am I doing with my day? Like, there needs to be more. There needs to be a goal for me to work towards, because that's the point, right? Is becoming the type of person that's capable of accomplishing the goal. So your passionate income is going to be, now that I've got this community, which offers the ultimate security, I've got financial security, and I have a vision for where I'm going. What am I really good at? What do I enjoy? What fires me up? What got me going as a kid to where I can build a business around that and that thing? Because now I can really go for it and give it all I've got. And then that's the answer, I think, because the answer is not to just stop working. It's to work on what you want, when you want, with who you want.